Vinyl is back in a big way, and if you're thinking about getting a turntable, you've probably come to the same conclusion that many others have. There are a lot of options out there. Automatic or manual, belt-driven or direct drive, built-in phono stage or external preamp. And what connections do I use, and how far can the cables run? And what about wireless turntables? Are they even worth it? Well, don't worry, I've got you covered. In this video, I'll break down everything that you need to know to buy the perfect turntable for you. Now, before we begin, I want to add this disclaimer. A lot of what I will be talking about will be reflecting my opinions and what I think is a good value based on over a decade of training, selling, and maintaining turntables and stereo systems, and the feedback from all of my clients. These are general guidelines, not hard and fast rules. Nobody is wrong for having a preference for one feature or style over another, and it's all very subjective. First up, let's talk about one of the biggest decisions: automatic versus manual turntables. The difference? It's all in how the tone arm moves. An automatic turntable does all the work for you. Just press a button and the tone arm moves into place, drops onto the record, and returns when it's finished. Now, this is great if you want convenience and minimal handling. There are variations on automatic turntables as well, like auto lift, where the turntable is mostly manual, but at the end of the side of the record, the tone arm will lift up. A manual turntable, on the other hand, requires you to lift and place the needle yourself. This gives you more control and is often preferred by audiophiles, since there are fewer mechanical parts that could interfere with sound quality. Manual turntables are oftentimes more reliable. Moving parts break down. It's a law of physics. The less moving parts, the less likely you are to experience a part failing. I will note that most records will have something called a catch groove. At the end of the recorded music, there is a groove in the vinyl that catches the needle and prevents it from skipping up and over the sticker in the middle of the record. Sometimes these catch grooves even have music in them as an Easter egg. You still want to lift your tone arm at the end of the side to help preserve your stylus, but it's not a matter of life and death. In summary, if you are worried about damaging your records or just want the ease of use, go with an automatic turntable. If you want better control, sound quality, and reliability, go with a manual. Next up, belt drive versus direct drive. This is all about how the motor spins the platter. Belt-driven turntables use a rubber belt to connect the motor to the platter. This helps absorb vibrations and reduces motor noise by isolating the motor away from the platter or the subplatter. This typically leads to a cleaner sound, but over time, belts wear out and need replacing. And I've found models with larger belts that wrap around the entire platter have a tendency to fail faster than smaller belts that wrap around a subplatter. Direct drive turntables have the motor directly attached to the platter. This means typically more consistent speed and durability. Plus, DJs love them because they're better for scratching and mixing. The downside? Well, if it's a true direct drive, there isn't really any downside. But if it's a direct drive turntable via gears, well, then vibrations from the teeth of the gears slapping together and grinding down over time can lead to distortion. So I would typically recommend a belt-driven turntable because they provide a more consistent and quality sound. If your budget is below $2,000, definitely stick to a belt drive if you can. Over $2,000, there are a couple of options that really stand out with direct drive. Alright, now let's talk about phono stages or phono preamps. The signal generated by the stylus and cartridge is very weak, only a few millivolts. To make use of this weak signal, you need to boost it to a usable level for your amplifier and speakers. The phono stage does this by slightly amplifying the signal and applying an EQ curve to reduce distortion. Then it passes that cleaned up larger amplitude wave to the rest of your stereo system. Some turntables have a built-in preamp, which means you can plug them directly into your sound system. This is great if you are tight on space or have a stereo amp or powered speakers that don't have a phono stage built in. Most turntables don't have a phono preamp built in, and I get a lot of questions about this topic. Is the phono stage in my turntable or preamp better? I would recommend listening to both and see which sounds better to you on your system. This isn't a cop-out answer, it really is the best way. What about the one built into my receiver? Well, most Most home theater receivers have a pretty entry-level phono stage built into them. That being said, depending on the level of quality of the phono stage built into your turntable, it still may be an upgrade. How long can the cables be connecting the turntable and the preamp? Not very long. 3 to 4 feet max is my recommendation. That weak signal coming from the stylus and cartridge is subject to distortion from all kinds of sources. It's best to keep the connection as short as possible and use shielded cables when possible between the turntable and the phono stage. From there, you can run cables as long as you need to the rest of your system. If you want it to be as simple to just plug and play as possible, using a built-in phono preamp in either the turntable or stereo system is a great option. If you want quality overall, using a separate phono stage is going to get you there. There are also times where you need a specialized phono preamp for different cartridge types, like low output moving coil cartridges. We'll cover all the different options of cartridges in an upcoming video, so be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell to make sure you don't miss it. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Wireless turntables. Yes, they're super convenient, but there's a big downside. Bluetooth can compress your music, and relying on a double conversion decreases your sound even more. A record is one of the purest forms of analog sound, and to broadcast that information requires a phono stage to boost the level, then a conversion from analog to digital. That digital signal is subjected to all kinds of electromagnetic interferences from Wi-Fi, radio waves, and natural solar radiation. Then the receiving device, like Bluetooth headphones or a Bluetooth speaker, has to convert that digital signal to an analog again for it to be amplified and played back. All of those conversions and distortions really can impact the sound. It's like printing a really nice photo and then photocopying it over and over again. It comes out blurry and undefined at the end. If you really need wireless music, I recommend you look into a few lossless streaming solutions instead. My colleague Ben has some great videos detailing options for just that on our YouTube channel. Now, before you start shopping, here are a few more things to consider. Cartridge type, moving magnet or moving coil. What is compatible with your system as it is now? If you're not sure, give us a call or email so we can help recommend one. Upgradability. Can you swap out parts like the cartridge, platter, or tone arm, or even the cables in some cases? Build quality. Avoid cheap plastic turntables and look for solid bodies built to reduce resonance. Aesthetics. Your turntable should look cool. I think most people will have their turntable on display, and it's a very interactive device. It should match your decor if possible. And budget. No matter the budget, we are guaranteed to find you an excellent option. Here are a few recommendations I would offer for 3 different price categories. Under $1,000, I would recommend the pro-ject Debut Evo 2, the Audio-Technica AT-LP120, and the Denon DP450. From $1,000 to $5,000, I would recommend the pro-ject X2B balanced turntable, the pro-ject XAB acrylic balanced turntable, or the Denon DP3000 direct drive turntable. And over $5,000, any Macintosh or Michelle Engineering model will do just fine. Really, you can't go wrong with any model in their lineups. The MT5 from Macintosh and the Gyro SE from Michelle Engineering are both models we have on display if you care to check them out in person at our Montgomeryville showroom. No matter what turntable you're looking for, there are some great options available, with the features that you care about and the style that looks best and fits in your budget. If you are unsure about any of these options or what to look for, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at Worldwide. We are more than happy to help guide you to a perfect fit. If you have questions or ideas on additional concepts to think about, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your suggestions.